Gone.
It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your host, Carl Lenore and Elisa Profumo.
Hey, welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Carl Lenore. This is Elisa Profumo. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to talk about a diet you've probably never heard of before, and it's called the ketogenic diet, and some scientific evidence that not only is it a great way to cure and treat seizures, epilepsy, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and so on, but it can also reverse type 2 diabetes. And then also, later in the show, you want to stay tuned for this, as promised, Elisa Profumo's recipe for homemade ginger ale to help your kids back off of soda completely with this really healthy alternative. How you doing, Elisa?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I love your dress.
Thank you.
Very, very pretty. Okay, so let's do this right away. We have to establish scientifically the importance of this diet that we're going to talk about today, ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet has been approved already as a medical treatment for several disorders. Here we have it where it's used to treat epilepsy. We know about this. This is actually from the Epilepsy Foundation, that children who suffer from epilepsy, when they're put on a ketogenic diet, seizures go away. We also know that the ketogenic diet works for febrile seizures as well. Once again, enhancing brain activity and energy while increasing neuronal stability. Research on the ketogenic diet has been shown that it can effectively reverse type 2 diabetes in short periods. And we're talking about in under 6 weeks.
I actually have a friend whose nephew, he's 10 years old. His doctor put him on the ketogenic diet.
Because he had epilepsy?
For epilepsy. No, well, he had seizures. And the seizures went away.
Completely. And it's hard for people to believe. We know a lot of people say, if I didn't have a relative that actually was on this diet, I wouldn't believe it. Because very few people think that food can cause a disease, never mind reverse a disease.
And interestingly enough, the doctor told his mother that people around them in restaurants will think that she is mistreating her child because of the way she was feeding him.
Yes, because keep in mind, the ketogenic diet is a very, very high fat, moderate protein, very low carb diet. It's exactly the opposite of what the medical orthodoxy says is healthy. And a lot of doctors still can't believe that the ketogenic diet is healthy, and we're going to talk more about that in a second. The ketogenic diet is also being used, you ready for this, folks, to cure cancer. Okay? Research on the ketogenic diet is vast. If you go to PubMed and search ketogenic diet and cancer, you'll find thousands and thousands of studies where they're showing how it actually makes tumors just disappear in humans, not just in rodents we're talking about here. The ketogenic diet is also being used to treat neurological diseases like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Now, in Alzheimer's disease, it can actually keep the disease from progressing. It cannot reverse it, but more importantly, it ameliorates the symptoms. The people with Alzheimer's disease, their brains start to function better, their memory starts to function better. We're going to talk about why this is right now. When you start eating a high-fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate diet, we're going to give you the exact ratios for this if you want to try it. The body switches its fuel from glucose to ketones. Ketones are produced by the liver from fat, but you have to have no blood sugar elevations for a period of time in order for the body to go, oh, time for me to switch to an alternate fuel source. In fact, Elisa, one of our evolutionary gifts, the reason that we have survived for as long as we have, is because our body is a hybrid. We know about hybrid cars, right, that run on electric and gas.
Yes.
We are hybrids. We can run on glucose or ketones.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, here's something that people don't understand. The Warburg phenomenon is how they used glucose to track cancer cells. Well, what we know is that cancer cells need sugar. They need glucose in order to thrive. But cancer cells cannot I repeat, cannot live on ketones, but the rest of the body can. So when you use a ketogenic diet in a person who has cancer, only the cancer cells die. Everything else runs perfectly.
Does someone need to become metabolically flexible before they can do this
But you can.
diet?
Yes, and that's a great point. What Elisa's talking about is this. Those who have eaten high carbohydrate diets their entire life, who are near pre-diabetes, where their blood sugar levels are always very high, cannot go for very long times without ingesting some form of carbohydrate. They'll become lightheaded and shaky. We talked about this in the intermittent fasting show. For those of you out there who want to start using a ketogenic diet, you must go slowly. You must listen to your body. If you find that you're getting lightheaded and dizzy and agitated, you may have to start adding some small amounts of carbohydrates into your diet to kind of bridge as you move towards a more ketogenic lifestyle. But you're absolutely right, Elisa, and that's a great point. And of course, you should always consult your physician anytime you change your diet if you are being treated for diabetes. Now, another thing that you should be aware of about the ketogenic diet is, unlike what you will hear from the mainstream media, it does not raise cholesterol levels. In fact, once you're in a full-blown state of ketosis, HDL goes up, LDL and triglycerides go down, which is completely counterintuitive because your doctor will say, hey, if you're eating high fat, you're going to promote heart disease. No, what they found out is the exact opposite, and we'll talk more about that. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to teach you how to get into a ketogenic state, the ratios of macronutrients you must ingest, and how to test if you're really in ketosis. You're watching Superhuman Television. We're talking about the ketogenic diet that has been shown to reverse disease, including cancer, diabetes, seizures, epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease controlled. We'll be right back with more.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages. You can lose weight and body fat even without strict diets or exercise with the new H-Force time-release fat-burning weight loss patch. That's right, it's an 8-hour time-release transdermal patch. Diet pills are destroyed by the powerful digestive acids in your stomach. The H-Force patch delivers 9 powerful fat burners, including Garcina, and 7 keto DHEA directly into the bloodstream. Just apply the patch before you go to sleep and take it off in the morning. Go to hforcefatloss.com or call 305-788-8604. Mention you saw it on Superhuman Television and get a second month supply absolutely free.
Hey, this is Carl Lenore. You've heard me talk about the dangers of fluoride. Now listen to this expert.
Fluoride is an agricultural toxic waste material. It's a rat poison and it's an insecticide. It's the reason there's a warning label on your toothpaste.
You've heard us talk about how dangerous fluoride is as an endocrine disruptor. Stop putting toxic toothpaste in your mouth. Go to superhumanradio.com today to learn how you can get a free bottle of Aura MD for you and your family. Elisa and I don't use anything else.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Labs liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
'Twas the night before Christmas. Santa was in flight, making deliveries all through the night. Out of nowhere, it seemed, an accident happened, leaving Santa's sleigh a wreck and his face slightly blackened. I'm scared and confused, and also quite bruised. How will I get this fixed? Insurance companies are so scary. You should call 1-800-ASK-GARY. When he called, it was simple. He said with a laugh and a twinkle. So remember, whatever the accident reason, call 1-800-ASK-GARY this holiday season.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. If you're just tuning in, my name is Carl Lenore. This is Elisa Profumo. We're talking about a diet that can actually be used to treat cancer, seizures, epilepsy, and even Alzheimer's disease, type 2 diabetes, and Parkinson's disease, the ketogenic diet. Now, Lisa wants to make a point. It's a very good point.
Something that I mentioned to you during the break is that people who are athletes, like you've heard of marathon runners and triathletes, how they carb load. There are athletes who are using this diet and performing very, very well with this type of diet.
In fact, better.
Better. And you have to get past a certain hump where, you know, you feel like you need the carbs, but once your body gets used to that, then the ketosis will make you feel energized.
Greater energy. In fact, what
Yeah.
Elisa is pointing out is really important, and we're going to address this again too. But while you're getting into a state of ketosis, you may feel a slight drop in energy, but once the body starts producing ketones, you'll feel more energetic, clearer minded, and so on, than if you were eating carbs in your diet. Okay, so how do you get into a state of ketosis? There's a few different ways, but the easiest way is to eat between 2 grams of fat to 1 gram of protein, all the way up to 4 grams of fat to 1 gram of protein, and keeping your carbohydrate consumption under 30 grams a day. Now, if you're eating vegetables, this is easy to do. If you're eating breads and pastas, which you shouldn't be, then 30 grams a day is going to be hard for you. The other thing that you need to do is no sugars in the diet at all, very low glycemic index carbohydrates. We're talking about vegetables and maybe the occasional sweet potato. And you also have to limit protein powders. Protein powders get digested rapidly, go through the liver, and through a process called gluconeogenesis can turn into sugar. And the goal is to keep sugars low so the body goes, uh-oh, we need ketones to run the machinery, and switches over. If you're using lots of whey protein powders, soy protein powders, or any of those types of things, you're going to have a harder time getting into ketosis because the body is going to change those into sugar quickly.
What about protein bars?
Some protein bars you can use, the Quest bar you can use, which is actually a sponsor of ours, and you'll see more about them very shortly. But again, I would stay with whole animal proteins, real fat, and vegetables for this process. The other thing is, how do you test if you're in ketosis? So let's say you're doing this for a few days now and you want to know. Really simple. You go to Walgreens and they actually sell ketone strips. For about $8, you can get a box of ketone strips, and what you do is you urinate on them, and within 15 seconds it will tell you the amount of ketones you are flushing out of your body, and you want to get in the 40 milligrams and above range. If you're in that 40 milligrams and above, you are in ketosis. You are at a good place now. You should be feeling energy, and more importantly, all the benefits of the diet will be experienced at that point in time.
How long can someone sustain that? Should they be that way all the time?
It depends on what your goals are. There's a doctor in California who says if you've had cancer in your past and you worry about a reoccurrence of cancer, getting into that ketone state where you're above the 40 milligrams for a week or two at a time can actually destroy any pre-malignant tumor cells before they take hold. If you're an athlete, you may want to stay in a ketogenic state for 4 or 5 days and then have some carbs on the 6th or 7th day.
Like a refeed day.
Exactly. What we do know about the ketogenic diet is once you're in ketosis, it will spare muscle glycogen. So your body will not use all the sugar that it's stored. It prefers to use ketones. So it just depends on what your goals are and how long you should stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What to expect? As you're going into a state of ketosis for the first few days, or maybe if you're very metabolically inflexible for the first week or two, you may not feel as energetic as you want to. Don't turn to caffeine. Don't turn to caffeine. Tough it out. Wait, because every time you go into ketosis, your body will go there faster. You want to train your body to be more metabolically flexible. This is an exercise in metabolic flexibility as much as it is a diet that can help you overcome disease. So avoid the stimulants from helping you get over that hump, because then the next time you do it, you'll get faster and faster. And now there's people like myself and Elisa, we use intermittent fasting to springboard into ketosis, and our body starts producing ketones very quickly, within a day.
I was just getting ready to say that the intermittent fasting might be an easy way for someone to use as a bridge to start out with intermittent fasting and then go into ketosis, because the intermittent fasting will help you become more metabolically flexible.
And also deplete you of blood sugar levels.
Yes.
So you can start using the ketogenic diet on the heels of a fast. And if you haven't seen the show, you should watch our show on intermittent fasting and use that as a precursor for this. But the benefits of learning how to get into a state of ketosis is your evolutionary gift. You are here today because your ancestors were able to survive with very little food, and when they had food, they could survive without glucose. Elisa pointed something out in the break that you didn't get a chance to hear. The only macronutrient you don't need to survive is carbohydrates.
Right.
Think about that. We cannot produce ketones without fat. we can produce glucose from protein. The only macronutrients we must have every day are fat and protein. The optional one is carbohydrates, yet we are mismatched today because all we eat is carbohydrates.
Well, and you mentioned something about eating low glycemic carbohydrates, like carrots are such a high glycemic, they have such a high glycemic index.
Right.
So you just need to be careful, like sweet potatoes.
Lots of, and I would stay with green leafy vegetables. If you're
Kale,
striving for a ketogenic
spinach.
diet, and the fats that you should be focusing on are coconut oil, raw unpasteurized butters, nut meats, but the objective is olive oil,
walnut oil.
But as long as you get those ratios right, 2 grams to 1, up to 4 grams of fat to 1 gram of protein, and keep your carbohydrates below 30 grams a day, focusing on vegetables, use your ketone sticks to test, you'll have no problems getting into ketosis. Now, when we come back, as promised, we have Elisa's ginger ale recipe.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. You're watching Superhuman Television. Stay tuned.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Hey, this is Carl Lenore. You've heard me talk about the dangers of fluoride. Now listen to this expert.
Fluoride is an agricultural toxic waste material. It's a rat poison and it's an insecticide. It's the reason there's a warning label on your toothpaste.
You've heard us talk about how dangerous fluoride is as an endocrine disruptor. Stop putting toxic toothpaste in your mouth. Go to superhumanradio.com today to learn how you can get a free bottle of Aura MD for you and your family. Elisa and I don't use anything else.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
You can lose weight and body fat even without strict diets or exercise with the new H-Force Time-Release Fat-Burning Weight Loss Patch. That's right, it's an 8-hour time-release transdermal patch. Diet pills are destroyed by the powerful digestive acids in your stomach. The H-Force patch delivers 9 powerful fat burners, including Garcina, and 7 keto DHEA directly into the bloodstream. Just apply the patch before you go to sleep and take it off in the morning. Go to hforcefatloss.com or call 305-788-8604. Mention you saw it on Superhuman Television and get a second month supply absolutely free.
If you or anyone you love needs health insurance right now, with or without a pre-existing medical condition, call the Health Insurance Helpline for immediate assistance and get the relief you deserve. The Health Insurance Helpline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. And as a special bonus for calling today, we'll send you a no-obligation, no-cost prescription savings card which can save you up to 50% off your prescriptions. Call the Health Insurance Helpline now.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. If you're just tuning in, my name is Carl Lenore. This is Elisa Profumo. And Elisa is going to bestow upon you one of my favorite drinks, especially in the summertime, and that is homemade ginger ale.
It's really good and refreshing, and it's healthy too. So it's 4 cups of water, 4 to 5 inch piece of organic ginger, a teaspoon of the organic white stevia powder, and a teaspoon of organic vanilla extract, a wedge of lime, and sparkling water. That's what you need for that's the ingredients.
Lists, right.
Okay. So you peel the ginger and you cut it into slices, bring the water to a boil, and then you put the ginger inside the water and let it simmer for 8 to 10 minutes. It says to strain the liquid, but I don't do that anymore.
You like the pulp in there.
I like the pulp inside there, so I just leave, and it gets stronger and makes it taste better. So I just leave the actual ginger in the glass container. I add the stevia and the vanilla after it cools down. I stir it in to dissolve it, refrigerate it until it's cold, and then you serve it over ice with equal amounts of sparkling water and a wedge of lemon or lime.
Now here's the thing. So this makes a concentrate. You have that concentrate in your fridge. Mm-hmm. You pour half of it into a cup and you fill the other half up with some sparkling water and you stir it, and it's soda. No child will challenge you and say it's not soda. The stevia makes it sweet. The vanilla makes it taste good. The ginger is a little bite your tongue and refreshing. but it's also, unlike soda, it's healthy. Ginger is so healthy for you.
You may not want it to be quite as strong if you're going to give it to a child. It might be a little strong for them until they get accustomed to it.
So do a 1/3, 2/3.
Do 1/3, 2/3. But just get some good sparkling water from Trader Joe's. They have the lemon lime sparkling water at Trader Joe's that you can mix with it, and it tastes really good.
That's a great point. So what Elisa does sometimes is she'll buy flavored sparkling water that's naturally flavored with juices of raspberry, for instance. And she'll use that instead of just plain sparkling water. And then the raspberry flavor intermingles with the ginger flavor, and it's soda. Kids will not challenge you. They won't say this isn't soda. They may not be their favorite soda, but it will be soda, and it's so good.
My niece and nephew love it. They're 8 and 10 years old. They love it.
Important thing about ginger, too, and we're actually going to dedicate a segment of a future show to ginger. Ginger has amazing benefits, but it's an anti-inflammatory. It's a more powerful cyclooxygenase inhibitor than even aspirin is. It has analgesic effects. It'll soothe the stomach. It increases energy production by the adrenal glands. I mean, there's so many benefits to ginger, and so you can give your child, or you can drink something that will satisfy your need for soda, but that's actually helping your body.
I've got a list here that just says it reduces pain and inflammation. It remedies motion sickness. It strengthens your immunity. It combats morning sickness. So if you're pregnant and experiencing morning sickness, you might want to try this recipe out.
Yeah. You may want to go without the stevia. I don't know about pregnancy and stevia, but with that being said, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ginger is so good for you. And again, so this is an alternative that you can use yourself or for your children that you don't have to feel bad about.
Right.
Because, you know, I know every parent out there, when they acquiesce and give their child that soda, they're doing it to appease the child, maybe the child, but deep down inside you feel guilty, and you know, and you think to yourself, oh, someday I got to stop giving them soda, but I'm just not ready to attack that monster right now. Here's an opportunity to do that.
And let's face it, soda has if you're using diet, it has aspartame in it. If you're using regular, it has a ton of sugar in it. It has caramel coloring in it.
We talked about in a previous show, carmine.
Caramel coloring, and it has so many chemicals. Read the list. It has so many chemicals in it that you don't know what they are doing to your child.
And it's hollow calories.
And yourself.
Hollow calories. And so this is a great alternative, and it's healthy for you as well. And we love it. Elisa generally makes this in the summertime, but I got to tell you something. It's a really good drink in the wintertime, too, because ginger has a warming effect. When you drink the ginger ale, it actually warms your body. It's fantastic stuff. So we hope that you learned something in today's show about the ketogenic diet. We hope that you will experiment with the ketogenic diet, or if you have a relative or loved one that's suffering from Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, type 2 diabetes, or seizures and epilepsy, that you'll share this show with them, because the ketogenic diet can benefit them and you. You've been watching Superhuman Television here on WBNA. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages. You can lose weight and body fat even without strict diets or exercise with the new H-Force Time-Release Fat-Burning Weight Loss Patch. That's right, it's an 8-hour time-release transdermal patch. Diet pills are destroyed by the powerful digestive acids in your stomach. The H-Force patch delivers 9 powerful fat burners, including Garcina, and 7 keto DHEA directly into the bloodstream. Just apply the patch before you go to sleep and take it off in the morning. Go to hforcefatloss.com or call 305-788-8604. Mention you saw it on Superhuman Television and get a second month supply absolutely free.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, this is Carl Lenore. You've heard me talk about the dangers of fluoride. Now listen to this expert.
Fluoride is an agricultural toxic waste material. It's a rat poison, and it's an insecticide. It's the reason there's a warning label on your toothpaste.
You've heard us talk about how dangerous fluoride is as an endocrine disruptor. Stop putting toxic toothpaste in your mouth. Go to superhumanradio.com today to learn how you can get a free bottle of Aura MD for you and your family. Elisa and I don't use anything else.
'Twas the night before Christmas. Santa was in flight, making deliveries all through the night. Out of nowhere, it seemed, an accident happened, leaving Santa's sleigh a wreck and his face slightly blackened. I'm scared and confused and also quite bruised. How will I get this fixed? Insurance companies are so scary. You should call 1-800-ASK-GARY. When he called, it was simple. He said with a laugh and a twinkle. So remember, whatever the accident reason, call 1-800-ASK-GARY this holiday season.
Hey, welcome back. It's Superhuman Television. It's actually tomorrow already. I got ahead of myself and thought that was the end of the show, but these things do happen. And this is what happens when you tape TV shows live and there's no editing. Anyway, I guess we can wrap up and talk a little bit about the ketogenic diet for a minute.
Okay.
I think that evolutionarily, we have spent periods of time in a state of ketosis, and the body actually likes it. Mm-hmm. This is evidenced by the fact that when you get into a state of ketosis, you'll find out that you think clearer, you have more energy, contrary to what people would believe. And we see that it actually has the ability to reverse disease states. One of the things that I learned when I interviewed Dr. Dominic D'Agostino on Superhuman Radio was the ketogenic diet actually does two unique things as a byproduct. It protects neurons. Neuronal death is a problem with a lot of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and epilepsy and what's the other one? Parkinson's disease and Lou Gehrig's syndrome. Well, when you switch away from carbohydrates or glucose as your source of energy and you switch to ketones, there's a lot less wear and tear on the nervous system. The other thing is that ketones signal the body the same way intermittent fasting does, in that it increases SIRT1 production that we've talked about, the anti-aging effect of intermittent fasting. So it could be said that experimenting with the ketogenic diet and doing it several times a year or even more frequently, depending on what your goals are, can actually enhance the quality of your life and prolong your life. And really, there are very, very few downsides at all, except, and this was evidenced in Kekwik and Pawan. We talked about the Kekwik and Pawan study, that the only people who lost body fat were the people that were eating a high-fat diet. And this is a really important subject. You will lose body fat on the ketogenic diet, but that's not necessarily the goal in this discussion. But we do know that it's hard to stay on the diet. A lot of people bail on it because of two things. They become a little angst-ridden that they're eating so much fat and they think it's bad for them, which it's not. And secondly, it's hard to make that transition to not eating carbohydrates. So it's something you may have to experiment with several times until you get it, and when you use the keto stick, you're in that 40 milligram range. But please try it.
And do as we suggested, start out with an intermittent fasting type diet and then bridge that to the keto diet.
Yes, and you'll springboard faster into a state of ketosis.
Yes.
And this really is the end of the show now. After this commercial break, you won't see my ugly mug come back because we're being told that the show is coming to an end. And we also want to remind you, go to superhumanradio.com and you can send us a message if you have a suggestion for an upcoming show or a question. Thank you for watching today.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
You can lose weight and body fat even without strict diets or exercise with the new H-Force time-release fat-burning weight loss patch. That's right, it's an 8-hour time-release transdermal patch. Diet pills are destroyed by the powerful digestive acids in your stomach. The H-Force patch delivers 9 powerful fat burners, including Garcina, and 7 keto DHEA directly into the bloodstream. Just apply the patch before you go to sleep and take it off in the morning. Go to hforcefatloss.com or call 305-788-8604. Mention you saw it on Superhuman Television and get a second month supply absolutely free.
When service members return home, they often find that they're facing a different kind of battle, providing for their families. The Coalition to Salute America's Heroes wants to remind employees everywhere that the best way to show appreciation for our heroes is to hire them. So hire smart and bet on a vet. To learn more, visit saluteheroes.org.
Sharing. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.